right now.
Okay,
There you
so
go.
I'm gonna start. Hi, everyone. What did
Hi.
you like the book? Me and Halia aren't really sure how we feel about it. I think it's because we didn't really have much time to process it because we only had 2 days to read it.
I just didn't. I thought it was kind of confusing, like who the characters were and everything.
Yeah, they had all old names that you couldn't really remember.
Yeah. I mean, the main characters, like like that
Yeah,
keep reoccurring, like it's pretty obvious. But
yeah.
everybody else is just like,
I
okay,
hope
who's who?
everyone has main characters.
I know. Do you guys
Because
want to start with the questionnaire? Like, guess who's who?
yeah, let's start with that. Okay, so I'm gonna start. And I really tried to make it kind of general. So so I could be tricky. But then again, some questions I'm like, I don't know. But then I'll just read it. So what do you regard as the lowest depth of misery? And I said, not being quite a part of the living world due to being a mystical creature. Two, where would you like to live? Somewhere dark and cool temperatures fitting for a person like me. And then the next question was, what is your idea of earthly happiness? And I said, fulfilling my duties that I am responsible over. Four, what is your main fault? My past and not being able to physically be there for some of my responsibilities. Five, who are your favorite characters in history? I said, those that protect and stand up for the right. Six, who are your favorite heroines and heroes in real life? Those that defend, protect, and sacrifice for their country. Seven, who are your favorite heroines and heroes of fiction? Sherlock Holmes, due to his investigative work and uncovering the truth. Eight, what is your favorite occupation? My favorite occupation is being a member of the Honor Guard due to its noble purposes for creatures like me. Nine, what do you appreciate most about your friends? Service and aid to keep the balance of good and evil. What qualities do you find most admirable in a person? The ability to have a change of heart and go from bad to good and immerse ourselves in good and be truly like repentive.
I
Who do
think
you
you're
think
either
I am? Yeah.
silent or
I didn't
Mr.
know how to say his name. I was trying to make it sound like Miss Lubetsky too, or whatever, the werewolf too. Because she's
Oh, yeah, that's what I thought it was too. But then, is she part of the honor guard? I'm not
yeah,
sure.
she's part of the honor guard too.
Oh, she is. Oh, okay, I
I guess
wasn't
that
sure.
gave it away.
Yeah, I think the honor guard part gave it away for me.
Yeah, it's the last. Yeah. Okay, someone wants to go next.
I'll go
Okay.
or if you want
No,
to.
no, go ahead, Julia.
Okay. Um, what do you regard as the lowest depth of misery? I put Ghoulheim. Where would you like to live? It's hard to decide. Um, what is your idea of earthly happiness, friends and family? What is your main fault? Curiosity. Who are your favorite characters in history, the oldest ones? Who are your favorite heroines slash heroes in real life, Miss Lupescu? Who are your favorite um, heroes of fiction? Cat in the Hat. What is your favorite occupation? Avoiding people or scaring them, depending on my mood. What do you appreciate most about your friends? What they can teach me and what I can learn from them? And then, what qualities do you find most admirable in a person? Their transparency.
Hmm.
I think you're broad.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Are
Yeah,
you?
yeah.
Okay.
What gave it
I
away for you guys?
It's just like
uh
knowledge because I knew that Bod really like knowledge, and then the school, the like what you think of like the lowest at the
lowest depth of
like
misery.
he said the goal. I think because he really hated that. I remember.
I think mine was number 4. Like his main fault was curiosity. Like he always wanted to learn something, and he always wanted to like leave the graveyard. So, yeah.
Yeah, this is kind of fun.
I'll go now.
It's hard to get answers that are not too like giving.
Yeah, it is. Let me see. Where are mine? Sorry. There it is. Okay. Sorry. It's like loading right now. Okay. Number 1. Mine was failure to complete a task. And then I would want to live close to the graveyard. My idea of earthly happiness is power. My main fault is being overly excited. My favorite character in history is Hitler. And where did it go? Okay. My favorite hero in real life is Donald Trump. And my favorite hero of fiction is Hades, the god of the underworld. I would want to be a butcher. I appreciate my friends' loyalty, and what qualities do you find most admirable in a person? I admire their trust in me for that. So, who am I?
Jack?
Yeah.
Why
I gave it away.
Why the Trump and the
incomplete attack?
I could not think of anything. I just, like, my husband just said Donald Trump, so I was like, okay.
No, it was good because you could also mistake him for a ghoul, because a ghoul was like, they renamed themselves to like crazy,
Yeah.
So I was like, maybe, because like the trust at the end, that like threw me off because I don't know. I just imagined that to be like maybe a ghoul more, because they wanted Bob to trust him to take him back.
Okay.
Yeah. And then when you said Hades, I was like, isn't that where the ghouls live? So yeah. So it was like a few of your questions that really stood out to me, that it was Jack. But
I think I was like referring it to like all the Jacks compared to Jack Frost. Like I was wanting them to like trust me to like get the job done and stuff. But, yeah, that's how I kind of did that.
It was good. It was good. Yours was good.
Thanks. Natasha?
Oh, I can't hear you, Natasha. You're speaking. I see your lips move. I can't hear you. Are you on mute?
Yeah, she might be on mute. Hello?
I can't hear you.
Can we hear Julia?
I can't hear her.
Yeah. No, she's on mute.
Your microphone is turned off. There's like a little hello?
Yeah, it's just her.
Oh no.
Your screen.
But it was working earlier.
Just like go to the top of the screen and press unmute microphone.
I think that's what she's doing, because it shows up and it doesn't show up.
Hello?
Oh no, we're having some technical difficulties.
I don't think she sees us because she might be on a different page.
Dang it. Can you hear us?
Yes,
okay, she can hear us, but we can't hear her. But it's weird because whenever someone speaks, like their picture goes up as the main one, and hers is up as my main one now. That's weird.
How about, should we unadd her, then add her again? Save that.
Yeah. Natasha, try clicking on, like, hanging up yourself and then clicking on the link again. Okay, there we go. Is that her?
She said, no wonder anyone would let me speak.
Oh, poor
Oh,
thing.
Natasha.
Shucks, sorry. I was thinking like, man, she's quieter than usual.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was thinking maybe it was a hard book.
shucks. Let me try add her one more time.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I've added her so many times. She should just like click on the same link, right?
I'm not sure.
Okay, I added her one more time. There you go.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay.
Where are you? We just
Sorry.
I wonder, I was like trying to say something and then nobody's like, okay.
Oh, sorry.
I'm fine.
All right, but it's your turn, so.
Okay. So I still I was confusing about question 5 to 10 if I'm gonna answer it as like a character or a real person, but I'm just gonna go ahead.
Okay.
My first one, what do you regard as the lowest depth of misery? Living as not a living person. Where would you like to live? At the graveyard. What is your idea of earthly happiness? To become some children's parents? I hope it's not obvious. I don't know how to answer it.
No worries, keep going.
What is your main fault? Because I didn't finish the book. I only read to 30 pages or less than that. So I was just saying, doing someone's favor.
No, don't worry.
Who are your favorite characters in history? Is this real life or as a character?
You should be like Mother Teresa. I think I know who your character
Okay,
is.
mine is.
I think you're Mrs. Owens.
I think it was Owens too.
Yeah. Good job, team.
Okay.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, this book was really long, Natasha. I got to 270 in the last 40 pages. I was up at night and I had to sleep, and so I just read some summaries online. I want to finish it this weekend, but it just all depends. Okay.
Bye, Sean.
I'm home from lunch, so we usually have lunch together. But sorry, guys.
Oh.
Okay, so let's do the discussion because we only have
Yeah.
What made the characters seem different from each other before doing the exercise? I think what made them different was that one was bad, I don't know. Someone answer.
I thought whether they were dead or alive kind of gave
yes, that's true. Or a mystical creature or not.
What was that?
A mystical creature or not. Dead or alive or mystical creature.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or a villain or
hero or whatever.
Hero, yeah.
Hero, but what is the protagonist?
Yeah. I thought that kind of gave it away.
And some are parents, some are kids.
Yeah.
Yep.
Single. I don't know how Silas, but I feel like I didn't get to the end of the part where to read more about him, but I feel like he's just doesn't have a family.
Yeah. They're old or young?
Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
What made them seem similar? What do you think?
I think what made some of the characters seem similar is their common goal and to protect God or just their common goals. Like I got confused with Jack with your questionnaire and Jack because he had some it could, also apply to the Slayer or the goals.
Yeah.
Goals. I
I
don't
would
know.
say the graveyard. I don't know.
That made them similar.
Mm-hmm. Like you can tell that they're not dead, they're not living. And that's before they I would say before they found the baby.
Yeah.
I feel like the graveyard is their what do like we have they're similar because they're from they're Polynesian or they're like Asians.
Mhm.
But I consider them as like the family from the graveyard. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. What? Let's do number 3. Question number 3. Were there any characters who simply could not be mistaken for anybody else in the text, no matter how craftily you disguise their answers? What makes these characters unique? I kind of thought Silas would be a hard one. No, God. Silas and God.
Because God was so distinct. We know God the most. I think it's really hard for me to answer some of the questions about Silas and not be too obvious because he's only mentioned so many times in the book. And I kind of wanted to blend him in with Miss Lucas, the werewolf lady.
Yeah.
But like she is mentioned even less. So she's not going to be
a mysterious person.
Yeah, she's forefront of your mind.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought Silas was very hard. Is there anyone else that you thought was hard to?
Well, I just think like with the questions that we were given, like all of them were kind of hard to mistake for anyone else because like Silas is a vampire, so he's like living but not living, and like said in your questionnaire, he likes dark, cold places. Like that's a characteristic of a vampire.
Yeah.
And then also like with Bod, he's the main character, so you know most about him, so it's hard to answer that without giving it away. And then who else do we have? Miss Owens, like she's dead, but she's not like Silas, who's in between. So like they all have, like there's only one character of each, pretty much. Like there's only one vampire we really know. There's only one living boy, only one werewolf, only one main ghost that they talk about. So I just feel like a lot of them were kind of easy because there was only like one of each.
Yeah.
Like maybe if there were 2 vampires or something.
Yeah. I kind of put Jack too, just like because I had him. I thought even though like you guys kind of could consider him as other characters, I thought because he was the main evil guy, like he was like the most obvious one too,
Yeah.
There were other evil like people, but yeah, just based on the questions, like you said, it was quite obvious.
Yeah.
Like everybody kind of had their role, like you said. There's the protagonist, the antagonist.
The supporting characters were. It was hard for them to not mistake him for other people because even them, they were born at like certain eras, like all his teachers in the graveyard taught him different things that I was like, wow, I don't even know this because it was important, to their knowledge when they were alive, but not necessarily important for us to know.
Yeah.
So that made them stand out is the time that they were living on this earth because they just held on to the same knowledge.
Yeah. True. What about the next question?
Natasha, because her laptop died, but that's okay. We'll go on. Which characters were most frequently mistaken for each other? Why do you think these confusions happened? Do they tend to happen between characters you already associated with each other, or between those that seem to have little in common at first glance? What does this confusion reveal?
At first I was kind of confused at who was Bod's guardians, because like I thought the Owens took him in, but then it said later in the book that Silas was his actual guardian, so I wasn't quite sure what was going on with
I
us.
think
Like
they're
like obviously different characters.
Yeah. I think because the Owenses can't really leave the graveyard.
Mm.
They were afraid of like who's gonna get him food, and Scylla's like volunteered to do that. So it was
okay,
them three, and then the other people of the graveyard like took a democratic vote and said, "Okay, we will help you and welcome this boy." But I think the Owenses and Scylla's had the main responsibility over Bod.
Yeah. I also thought like the Jacks were kind of confusing. There's so many.
Oh yeah. I don't even remember. I honestly don't really remember the Jacks. I just know.
Wait, so I don't think I got to that part. Like, what is it, like Jack Frost and then Jack the Slayer? Like, are those two?
It's like
No,
there's several.
Yeah, it's like a like a brotherhood
of Jack.
Yeah.
How many Jacks are there?
So there was like, I don't even know how many in total, but like at the end there was 5 of them trying to kill him.
Yeah.
Bod. And Jack Frost was the last one to get like killed, I guess, or
Slayer took.
Yeah, the Slayer took him. But everybody else kind of got sucked into the Ghoul Gate.
Yeah.
3 of them got sucked into the Ghoul Gate. But yeah, they were kind of confusing, like who to keep track of. But I guess they weren't that important.
I don't think they were that important.
Yeah.
Like it was hard because they all have the same reason. I think Jack Frost was just the guy who needed to complete that task, and the other Jacks were helping.
Yeah. I thought Lisa, and Scarlet could be seen as similar too, because like they were Bod's closest friends, and I think they kind of liked each other too. And then like Liza was obviously jealous of Scarlet. She didn't like it. I thought so. Like I think that's why she like didn't hang around him anymore, because like he started hanging out more with Scarlet. But I could be wrong. I'm not sure.
No, that makes sense because like.
But then like also he was growing up, and so she was.
I think Lisa stayed in her mid.
Yeah.
But I think we did that. Which characters were most frequently mistaken for each other? So it was all the Jacks, the antagonists, Scarlet and Lisa. Anyone else that you guys could think of?
I just put Mo and Nick.
Kept bringing up like all the different ghosts, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Because there was just so many that he met and encountered that like he just sort of forgot like how they were introduced in the first place. Or
same. It says in the end, this never happened to you, so no, I didn't. Or between those that seem to have little in common. What does this confusion reveal? What do you think it reveals?
Maybe that there's a thin veil between the living and the dead. I don't know. So like that's what I thought was kind of crazy. Like I know it's like a made up, but yeah, there was just that the freedom of the graveyard, so it was kind of confusing to see like who was living and who was dead at first. So, yeah. That's what I said. Natasha said she's going to send her answers.
Awesome. Okay, so you guys just want to go to the last question, or do we have time, or what should we do?
We can do the last question. I think we still haven't hit half an hour yet.
Do you know how long we're in?
We're probably really close. I think we're between 20 and 30 minutes.
Okay. So it says, consider the similarities between characters of the Graveyard Book and characters of the Jungle Book. Which characters from Neil Gaiman's book represent characters from Rudyard Kipling's book? What differences do you see between the characters? What do these similarities and differences tell you about Gaiman's intended message?
I think this was my favorite question because it was like easier to understand.
Yeah, same.
I put that like Bod was raised by the graveyard members and like the dead, and then Mowgli was raised by a pack of wolves, so they weren't exactly raised by their kind.
Yeah.
So that was kind of similar. But then like towards the end, they like returned eventually to live amongst their kind. You know, like Bod.
Mowgli did? I didn't know Mowgli did.
Mowgli?
Yeah.
I mean, he eventually went into the village, didn't he? I think.
Yeah, to get the red flower. I don't know if he stayed there.
Oh, I'm not sure.
He's a boy, though.
I thought he did.
Yeah. Yeah, I did the same thing. So, like you said about Mowgli being raised by a pack of wolves, I associated like Akela, I think, was his mother wolf in that pack, and I put Akela as represents like Miss Owens in the Graveyard Book because they had the same role in caring and providing for Bod and Mowgli.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. I mean, I don't really know if there's a different way to answer that. It says, what do those similarities and differences tell you about Gaiman's intended message? Well, what was his intended message? Like, I didn't know. Because I know that Silas said, like, at one point in the book, Bod was like, well, I have my family here, like, in the graveyard. I could just be with them. And he's like, well, your life isn't over. Like, you still have more life to live.
Yeah.
Because your dreams and stuff will be over once you're in the graveyard. Like, you can't leave. And so I thought that was sort of like a message, like, to live your life and don't, like, try to just give in and give up.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know if that's... Would you say that that's sort of a theme in Jungle Book? Because he ends up staying in the jungle, so...
Well, like, before, I thought he ended up going to the village to live with that girl. That's why I was like, all of them can't live in a
There's a few versions of the Jungle Book. And I read the children's book, and then read and watched the recent movie. So I don't know if it's like legit. I don't know which one is the original or legit one.
So I kind of thought that Gaiman's intended message was because Bod eventually went to live in the real world outside of the cemetery, outside of the graveyard, like, and then Mowgli did the same thing because he could talk to animals, and then Bod could talk to the dead. Like, eventually that began to fade away. Like, those are both impossible concepts that like are only possible in fairy tales. So eventually, like, you have to go back to reality. That was kind of my perspective on that, or perception on that. Like, yeah. Fairy tales end kind of thing. Or like, yeah, just eventually have to return back to the real world.
Yeah. And, also I wanted to say that Scarlet was able to see some of see the Slayer or the Indigo Man when she was younger, and see Bod when she was younger.
Yeah.
If you guys remember, like that, the part of the story where Scarlet they had a search party for her, and like Bod was there, like in the chapel when her parents were there in the search party, but no one like stopped and like saw him. Like I thought he was better at fading, and over time he got worse at fading because I think he was a live person.
Yeah, because he was just growing up and the freedom of the graveyard was like fading for him.
Yeah, that's what I believe that, and that it's like similar. I feel like kind of for Mowgli, it's okay for him to talk to animals and live like, you know, in the jungle for a time, but he obviously can't make it last forever.
Yeah, that's what I kind of thought of that too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What do these similarities and differences tell you about? Okay, so I agree with Julia or whoever said it. Like the similarities show that fairy tales only last forever, and the differences, I don't know. What differences?
Well, if we go with the other version of Jungle Book where he stays, then the difference would be that you can stay in fairy tale.
Yeah, that's true.
You don't have to go back to the real world, and you can just
True, yeah. Some things can stay a fairy tale forever.
yeah. Yeah, that's all I can think.
That's all I could think of.
Yeah. For the other people that represent like the similar characters in each of the book, I put like Scylla's represents like Shere Khan, the tiger that kind of protected, was like Mowgli's guardian, and I put
Khan was the one trying to kill him.
Oh, was Shere Khan trying to kill him, or maybe it's
Bagheera.
Bagheera. Sorry. Okay, so switch that. So Scylla's Bagheera, and Jack is Shere Khan.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the Slayer was like Louis. Like not really. There's a bunch of threat. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. I didn't think of the monkey one, but that's cool.
Yeah.
I definitely got Shakira and Jack like as similar characters because they both, I think they both tried to kill them when they were younger, and they didn't stop until like they tried to kill him, and both were unsuccessful even like when they got older. So yeah.
I feel like another theme in both books is like you have a path. If you have a family, you have more, and you're gonna stay protected from people wanting. Okay, this is getting weird.
Yeah, you're like echo.
Yeah. Like I can't really hear. Hello? Okay, now I can hear.
Okay. I stopped. Yeah, similar theme of like
Your voice is
Wait, what? I don't know what's going on.
All right, we've got to a half hour.
Yeah, I think the
Okay, I'll post the link. Hopefully she gets it. I reposted the other one from our other discussion, so hopefully she grades it soon. I don't know what was wrong with it for the first time. But it's there.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll repost this link again, and then Mary, you're gonna do the report. Okay, cool. Thanks, guys.
All right. See ya.
See ya.